Mike Jones here with Ken's. We got theaters, we got churches, we got custom. Let's get inside and check it all out.
Ken's audio video. Ken's service what we sell. Little Georgia's only in-store personnel. Little Georgia's #1 sight and sound source. Go to Ken's.
All right, keyboards, Gary. We have been on fire with keyboards. You're probably the best keyboard salesman on the planet because you always have it in stock. That's what I tell everybody. Now, tell me about the Yamaha 235.
Touch sensitive, 76 notes on it. It has 231 sounds built into it.
And this is $250.
And you buy it right now and you get a free stand.
So really it's $350 for $250. Gives you the free stand as well. That's awesome. Now this is Yamaha when you go towards the entry level, but listen, they have really got on fire from the motif side of things. Look at this. Now Gary, tell us about this. This is brand new.
This is the MOXF8. A lot of people, they go out, they hear the name Motif. Motif has the most ultimate sounds that you want in a keyboard. This is 88 key. This is weighted keys.
Right. Very, very nice. I know that's nice.
This has all the sounds that you're looking for in a Motif, but a lot of people get intimidated because the Motif does have a lot of sequencing.
Right, exactly right.
If you're not computer savvy, but you want to play, then you get the MO right here, and it has all those Motif sounds.
So the Motif sounds, everything, and also is a lot less money. $1,694 is almost half the price of a Motif. Has all the pre-sounds all built into it as well, so you can kind of do your own thing. And with the weighted keys and an 88 key, and of course we service Yamaha in-house. That's what this guy does right here. So come into the Pro Sound Music Store in Macon, right next to our store, right across the street from Olive Garden in Macon. You got to be able to get your keyboard on. Okay, all right, enough. I can't handle it. It's so good. This is Fender, American, made in the USA, in stock, $1,249, playing through Fender's new 40-watt amplifier, which is how much? $179 for a 40-watt Fender, $1,249 for a made in the US Fender, and let's do it one more time. Listen to the clarity. It's amazing. Listen, you got to get in here, talk to Gary the mastermind, and Richie's my other mastermind. Get in here. These guys can really help you choose what is best. If you're a guitar player and you haven't played this guitar, it's an injustice to you. Man almighty. Yamaha, I know we have a huge sale, 3 sets left on closeout. Normally $800, you sell them so for $599?
$599, 14-inch hi-hat, 16-inch crash, 20-inch ride.
Comes with all of that?
Everything that you see right here, and 3 pair of sticks.
And what about the throne?
Throne goes with it.
So for $600, you get the full meal deal, if you want to call it that, at our music store, Ken's Pro Sound Music Store. Gary's got to go. Did you hear him play them things? That is amazing. You got to get on the Yamaha sale right now, $599. All right, Toshiba, which I love this brand. We have had Toshiba since the day my father started this company, or as soon as TVs came on the scene. But Toshiba is a very good brand. They're a Japanese brand, but here's the deal behind them. They know smart TVs. Now, a lot of folks get the smart world messed up. This is more towards the intelligent side of the televisions. And before I get you too confused, I just want to show you what this thing will do. This is a new 55-inch. This is Cinema Series. Look at the clarity of this panel. It is insane. It has very, very good sound for a TV, but look at this. The new ones with the intelligent feature, it allows you to go online, and here's our online page, so I can still watch TV, and this is what the other folks don't do. When you hit into your smart side of your features, this all disappears and you don't get to still see if the game's playing and keep the score or whatever you want to do. But it has an actual huge social media setup with Facebook and Skype, and you can go full internet here. It tells you what your weather is, your current temperature. It even shows you everything that's been kind of the most watched shows this week. They come in 55 and 65, okay? They are 240 hertz refresh. They are full-on smart. It has 5 HDMI inputs on it. It still has good old-fashioned Cox cable plug-in if you have to have that. But here's what's cool. It has what they call clear scan. What clear scan does is when it's in your room and there's a whole bunch of light coming in and you get a lot of crazy reflection, it adjusts itself for you to keep the most optimum page. Because now that they've gone back to this big glass structure like everybody's done, and they did this for more for sharpness of picture and reliability reasons. You know how they were all kind of flimsy for a while there. Now they're just super, super tough. And what they did that for is the idea behind this is it keeps the picture clear at all times of day, because folks watch night, day, and all that kind of stuff. So when you come in to the Macon or the Warner Robins Superstore, just look at the new Cinema series from Toshiba. They have awesome plans of no interest for 12 months all the way up to 24 months, and right now they're about $250 off of their advertised prices everywhere else on our good planet. Now come into Macon and Warner Robins and check out the new Toshiba Cinema series. They are on. All right, now 4K, Sony is the leader in 4K. If you just don't know what 4K is, let me tell you what this is. All televisions out there that are the higher models have about 1,080 lines of resolution. These have 4,000 lines of resolution. You're seeing a demo right now. Wait till you see this. Look at this clarity, it's insane. Now another thing is TVs are made up of pixels, as you probably know, you techies out there. Usually 1.5 million pixels, about the max. This has 8 million pixels, as you can see, because you don't see any pixels. This is Sony's newest 65 called the XBR being the very finest that they make. They make them in 55 and 65. They make them with and without speakers. This model has Sony's ES series speakers. Perfect picture, perfect sound. These guys have knocked it out of the park, and this is second generation. Now, what that means to you is the prices are right. They now start at, ready for this, $22.99 for 4K panels. You got to get inside and Macon and Warner Robins and check that out. All right, now Pioneer has a brand new set of radios. We talked about it a little bit last month, but I've had a lot of folks asking about it this month. It's called the NEX series. They've redone all the pages kind of in an app-driven setup. It does go with Droid and with the iPod world, iPhone world, if you will. It kind of covers both sets of the technology, which is really nice, because for a long time, they all just went with the Apple world, and that was it. There it comes up now. Now, what's cool about this is you can get them any way you want, but the highest flavor comes in a 6-inch or 7-inch, and it's AM, FM, CD, DVD, navigation, Bluetooth audio, XM, Sirius, and HD radio, because everything in Atlanta now has HD radio, which basically has better sound, sounds like our iPhone sound does when it's plugged in. Good, clean stream sound. Now, what's cool about this is, check this out. Here's my navigation map, which you just see. This is a 3D version. It shows all my roads and maps and stuff, and I can go wherever I want to go, which is super nice. I love this, because I will not ask for directions, and this lets me do that. I got Bluetooth, which is cool. Here's my phone, as you can see. There's my buddy Aaron, and I can call him up right now, which is cool. It also has Bluetooth audio, which I really use the Bluetooth audio a lot. There's my AV page. Here's all my options, SD card, AV, whatever I want to do. There's Bluetooth. So here is my phone. As you see, here is Brick House. Here is Brick House playing. And this can go back in the glove box. I don't have to have it out, and I can stay safe, and I can control everything about this without having to have it plugged in. Or it comes with a USB plug where I can plug in if I want to be able to charge it as well. Now, it also comes with, check this out, a real live equalizer like we're all used to, which I like this. It's nice to be able to tune your sound, even if you're using factory speakers. Keep in mind, a factory radio, the average factory radio only has 18 watts. This has 200 watts of power, and it allows you to preset them in case you forget where you left off last, which is nice. So in the gamut, this gives you everything. Now, they make one right here. If you look up right here, this is the same version, but without all the doodads, but it still allows you to add the doodads later if you want to call it that. So what you're going to know here is these things are going to be anywhere from about $300 for touchscreen radios all the way up into the $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 area. Alpine and Pioneer both have new models, but here's what's cool. Now it's just a little bit more than just a regular radio, and with the touchscreen, for me, it's a lot safer driving down the road if I can see the icon and not have to fiddle with all those small buttons. So when you come in, make sure it'll fit in your vehicle, which we have a huge application list up at the front counters in the computers that'll tell you what does and doesn't fit, and then just find one that fits your budget and fits what you want to do. We've got a 4-month layaway program, which is nice. We also have no interest financing for 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. But hey, here's the coolest thing about this, okay? Installation is, you guessed it, free. So when you come in, just look at these things. We're super competitive on pricing, but we install for free. Pioneer's 2014 NEX, bam! All right, 2014 and up, which means 15, 16, all the stuff that's coming. Chevrolet Silverado full size. And I hope you're seeing a cutaway of the outside of this truck right now. It is dynamite, if I can say it. This is probably the best looking one I've seen so far. It's incredible. And then he brought it to us to let us do what we do, which is also incredible. And JL Audio, again, knocks it out of the park. This is JL's newest stealth box. Look at this mama. This is crazy. It has a shelf to hold the amplifier. It's made out of fiberglass. That's right, folks, not wood, but fiberglass. It has two 10 TWs, which is JL's new Slim Series subs. It is insane how thin this box is. And let me give you an idea. This is a factory type carpet, as you can see. My man that films for me, David, just said, is this stock or what is this? Because it looks like a factory insert. And when the seat's down, check it out. As you see, it's seamless. It fits right in place. I love that. Now, you're also seeing a cutaway right now of the bracketry. And matter of fact, you can see it on both sides. It ties into the factory frame with a steel bracket just like Chevrolet builds. The idea behind that is a lot of times when you put a subwoofer box in, what you have to remember is the subwoofer box is constantly moving around. It's very rarely mounted tight like this, but look, I mean, this moves with the vehicle. I can't move it, as a matter of fact, but listen at the power. You've got to hear this. Listen to this.
Twisted cat and mouse game always starts the same. First we're both stand up plate and somehow you go.
That is insane.
Like in a love me. It was
Listen, I cannot tell you, so hard to duplicate that on a microphone, but that is incredible power. Now, in the doors, we have C3. Now, JL makes a bunch of different levels, and I'm telling you, get to the C3 world, it's incredible, but it is in a stock fit. We carry the speaker pods that fit in these new doors because they got this funky look behind the skin, and we can put our C3 in there, which is a convertible type speaker, which means it can be coax or separate. In this situation, we made them in a coax. In the front, you're seeing a cutaway right now. We did the mid and the tweet separate because it came with a separate location from Chevrolet. Now, Chevrolet this year has actually made a good radio, I have to say it. And a lot of folks are saying, hey, if I can keep my factory nav, for guys that did the nav option, I want to do that. And we did that. I'm sure you've seen a cutaway of the dash. It's really nice. Now, for those that don't get the nav, you remember 2 months ago we did one of these and we replaced it, which obviously will sound better than stock. But if you have the nav and you want to use it, Audio Control now makes a piece where you can keep the factory radio but get the output of sound that you need for this bad mamma jamma to do what it does. Now, let's talk about pricing. JL Stealth boxes are anywhere from $400 to whatever you can stomach, depending on your vehicle. They change. These amplifiers, this is 5 channels. It does your 2 fronts, your 2 rears, and your subwoofer, and it's got a crossover network in it. It is no way to beat what you've got going on right here, and such a compact, what they call hybrid or HD series. The JL speakers are anywhere from $99 all the way up to $500, $600, $700, depending on what you can stomach. Don't get all freaked out. They got it to fit every single budget. Now, here's the cool thing, and I know I'm long-winded on this, but I get so excited when we get to do something this beautiful, is it's a turnkey install. You don't pay for labor when it fits like this. And that's where we excel. Service, free installation, best names in the business. I love it. All right, we are down at Pastor Rogers Church, New Bethel Baptist Church off Georgia 257 in Dublin. And wow, when I first came in and did the meeting with them, it was one of the meetings that go like this. Well, Mike, some things just don't work. And then I went upstairs and there were things up there that were my age. So we ripped everything out and started from scratch. My son and his teams came down here. And when you got 6, 7, 8 good installers, I got 2 carpenters and 6 installers, and they come down here and do what they do, it's really nice to see the whole crew come down and strip everything out and start from scratch. So it's almost like a new construction building. And when we get done with it, it makes it where we can stand behind it on the service side. Now, they had 0 video. So we came in, as you see, look at the color on this. This is amazing. This is a Sharp Aquas. This is the 70-inch. They come in 60, 70, and 80 in this particular setting, and you're probably seeing a cutaway of the length of the church now. The 70 was perfect size, so for the folks that do sit on the very back row can still see the clarity of what you see here, which is the scripture. Now, we did 2 for the obvious, that they mirror one another, and it just looks really good on the decor side. And then we did one in the back, as you can see back there in the back where their crow's nest is, and that shows the cut. If you've probably seen a cutaway, but it is truly a mirror of the front. So that way everybody that's here in the praise team and the choir and the preacher know exactly what everybody gets to see, so they can kind of keep up, if you want to say it that way. Now, right above you here, David, so close, is the new VCM3s by Peavey. They've been out, they've been improved twice since they came out in their production. That is a very, very nice choir mic. And what I have found with most folks is choir mics just don't do that great, or they don't know how to adjust them. So when we come in, we break up the choir loft, depending if it takes 2, 3, 4, or 5 5 or however many it takes to do it. And then when they tune it to get the optimum amount of sound. You're probably hearing my sound through my mic and that mic since the system's fired up at the same time. And it makes a huge impact when you tune these right, and it's not all feedback and all hiss and all distortion, which is nice. Now, in the speaker world, I love it. You can see right here, we did Peavy's new Impulse. They make these in 10s, 12s, and 15s. And let me tell you, these things are incredible. And I love this new finish that they're doing because they match so well. Most churches have an off-white trim, and that's off-white, which makes the most sense. And that's not the only reason, but it's really hard on a church sometimes when you walk in, you see just a big giant black box sitting up there. It just don't look right. And most of the speakers you see in churches were built for clubs, just to be straight up. Now, a demo of sound you need to hear. Let me let you hear this thing. I've got Justin up in the crow's nest. Amazing clarity. Wow. Listen. Flawless. Amazing. And what I'm saying is, because it sounds so good, you can play it at a higher volume, because a lot of times, when something plays too loud and it kind of makes you go, that's just too much, it's because it don't sound good. Right now, and another thing you do here is we did the new PV monitors, and let me throw out some prices. These are the new 12-inch PV monitors, which I love, two-way. It has what they call a 40 by 80 horn in it, which is nice. They hold 500 watts of power. But hear me out on this, okay? These speakers are like $250, which is amazing for a monitor, and it feeds all of this area for the pastor and the choir loft, and it only took 2 to make this building do what it does. The speakers up here are going to range anywhere from $450 all the way up to $700, depending on what size and how much power you really need. These new podium mics, listen to the clarity of this thing, it's incredible. Listen to this. This new podium mic, which I love, the new Goose, is so flexible and simple to use, but it doesn't have that piece right here that always breaks over time. This is $150 for your pastor to be able to preach and to be heard. I think that's incredible. Now, when you get back to it, you're probably seeing a cutaway right now of the crow's nest up top where JJ is, and what it is, and why don't you just pan around there for me, Dave, and see him up there. We rebuilt that whole area up there, as you can see. Justin, show where that camera is, and what we do is, a lot of times if you don't really have the budget to run a gigantic, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 camera system, what we'll do is we'll do what we call a high-resolution 700-line resolution camera that just has a real long throw. And the reason we do this is, A, so that you can record, but also so that you can feed the areas where there's volunteers. You're probably seeing a cutaway right now of the nursery, and in the nursery they have no way of hearing or seeing the sermon, so we run a piece back there. Really, we use an Ethernet cable to give you extended long. For you guys that are techies, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For you guys that are not, you're going, so how do you make it work? And that's what we do. Those guys get back there and put these pieces in line. So if it is 100, 200, or 300 feet, we can still get the proper line. In the end, the coolest thing about this is we were right on budget. We didn't go one nickel over budget. So when you get done and you do it the right way, you get a system, and I tell everybody in the church world, it should go a solid decade before you have to start making changes again, unless you just want more creature comforts in your setup for your church. So you need to get down here and worship. That's off 257 in Dublin. New Bethel Baptist Church has got it going on. All right, in this theater, let me tell you, this is the audio video we're talking about only. This is an incredible theater, because when you kind of have a no holds barred and you have somebody that has all this stuff in there, what they want their dream theater to be like, and then we put it all into motion, this is what you get. This is Sony's new 84-inch 4K. This is Klipsch's new theater, and let me tell you, this is a full-blown reference theater. The Klipsch Reference 64 center channel, RF7 rears, full THX, 7.2 surround, 5,000 watts of power. I'm sure you're going to see cutaways as we get through this of all the way that things fit so seamlessly, but I got to let you hear and see a demo. You are going to love this. Now, let me tell you, that is, I mean, it's so hard for that to go through this mic and for you to get that, but this whole room is moving, and I do mean, when you're sitting here watching this, I mean, you're totally engulfed. It's 84-inch pictures, one thing, but to be 4K, oh my goodness. Now, all right, what people don't realize about 4K, and that's what you're seeing right now, this is why 4K is so special. Look at the detail. This is 4,000 lines of resolution and 8 million pixels. It is the most detail that's ever been built. Sony got awarded the absolute technology of the year for 13 and 14 because of this technology. Look at the detail of that. It not only gives you the best picture, but it gives you the best sound you can possibly get. I call it a hiss-free sound. So y'all need to get into our Macon store and Warner Robins Superstore and look at these panels. It is absolutely numbing is how great it is. All right, yes, that is the moon. This is insane. You've seen the pre of this theater, and this is the finish out that we've done for this family. Is incredible. This was a from scratch. This will start with the ceiling as a fiber optic ceiling. You see the shooting stars. You see the moon. Look at how this thing turned out. It's unbelievable. What an experience when the lights are out. You can even make the stars twinkle at different variations. Is nice. Yes, there are 3,000 fiber optic LED stars. Now, from the sides, as you can see here, as we built it what you have to remember is this was a vision that we had to come out with. And I'm telling you, what's so cool about it is when you're a sci-fi nut and you're trying to put sci-fi into the play, this is what comes out. Now, their daughter, Jennifer Gottrich, is a muralist, and she did every one of these. This artwork was done by hand. I mean, literally by hand, and they were placed up here and framed in by our carpenters. It is amazing to see how you're kind of looking out of a portal throughout the spaceship. And as you come down, you'll see everything that was done in detail, even down to the chairs. Turn around right here, Dave, and look at these chairs. We even had this done, United Federations of Planets. And these are actually stitched into the leather. These are made by Palliser. These are the finest chairs that they make. It's called dual leather chairs. And he is a very big guy. You'll see him in a minute. When I say big, this big, and because we had to have a lot of room, so we got 9 chairs in here. He even has a workstation in the back. I'll walk back here and show you this. This is all granite done, brought in. This is an incredible, incredible setup, and this allows him to come in and do work and still be able to enjoy his 4K theater. Now, look at the detail of the LEDs, even the running lights, like in a spaceship. All the way, not like I've been in a spaceship, but anyway, so in the last spaceship I was in, this is how all of these run, and they are allowed to change colors, and you'll probably see a cutaway of that here shortly. They'll go blue, red, any color you can possibly imagine this does. Now, in the front, as you see, this obviously being the focal point of our theater, and this is where the good stuff comes in. We built this to be the front end of the spaceship, this being the main window looking out. This is Klipsch reference. This is called the RF7. This is the absolute nicest speaker that is made on this planet. I like using the reference of planet there. And this is called RF7. They hold 1,000 watts apiece. We have 2 15-inch Klipsch reference subs. We even have the nicest Klipsch center channel called the 64 series here. The rear is set up of what they call the 5800s, and we painted those to match. As you can see, they blend. This is a speaker, if you can't really see that on there. This actually has been painted to match the wall in a little flat black, and it's also referenced. Look at the theme here. Here you have this. You have spaceships and helix and stars, and then he had this idea that we got out of him finally, because he was kind of dreaming as we went along, to put in his own symbol up here. So we took this symbol and we backlit it with LED as well, which is kind of a nice finishing piece to the theater, because it kind of is a focal point, along with, of course, your 84-inch 4K is also a very nice focal point. So as we went through this theater, it went through many, many phases of installation, because we kind of, not that we changed our mind a lot, it's just we kind of kept saying, well, what if we did this, and what if we did this, and we kind of just kept making it greater and greater. You got fiber optic, you got spaceship, you got the best sound in the business, you got 4K, and that is how it's done, folks. Awesome. All right, this is Dean Wilkerson, like I said, size, but this is his theater, and I just wanted him to say how we got where we are. Dean?
Well, the first thing I'd like to do is just give thanks to Mike and his crew to making my vision in my head a reality. You know, we first said this, it was an exercise room, and I was thinking that we needed to make it into a man cave, and then something crazy hit me, and I said, spaceship. And now it's a reality. Now, I would really like to thank you.
Right on, yeah.
It, man. A lot of work went in this. I'd like to thank, his carpenter and stuff that worked really hard day in and day out. So thank you very much. I'm very happy.
Let me tell you, when he came in and started talking about the theater, it was amazing, because he was like, I kind of like spaceships. So I took him and showed him my theater. I took him and showed him another theater, and he was kind of like, nah, those are nice, but it's not what I want. And then as we about halfway through the project, he goes, what if, and then we got to making jokes about, hey, what if we, and every time he said it, we kind of kept remolding this theater to be everything he wanted. So it really is amazing what he had up there that allowed us to kind of get this far with it. I mean, it is a masterpiece. All right, over here at Gilbert Trucks Center in Macon, Georgia, they obviously work on the big boy stuff in Macon, Georgia. They just went full HD on their cameras, and I mean, you wait till you see some of these dome cameras, small little package doing 1,080 lines of resolution. This is Gilbert Trucks Center. You're gonna love this. All All right, so the thing about the IP cameras, what you got to keep in mind is most cameras operate off of 500 lines of resolution, which is kind of like our old school tube TVs back in the day did. But now new modern world is the cameras are 1,080 lines. Of course, we're over here at Gilbert Trucks Center, and let me just show you the kind of detail that can be expected. Look at this. Look at the detail. Look at the detail of look at this sign that you can read right here. Allied, you can read right there. You can read PIC out here, which is a good friend of mine. All of this is done. Look at this. Let me drop back over to the grid so I can show you some more. Look at this service center. Look at this bay. Look at this guy working right here. Look at the detail. Look at the writing you can see on this RV. This is the craziest thing in the world is how these cameras are going now. They are digitally done. What that means is they run off of an Ethernet cable like our computer does, but it allows us to run really, really long runs. And this thing records, this is from Snap AV. These DVRs will record 24/7. This has a 2 terabyte hard drive, which gives them a good month of storage, and they work day and they work night. But it's got a really simple menu. It allows you to do a sequencer. Check this out. You can actually do a 4-pan if you just want to see kind of the basic areas you're looking for, or you can do it all 8 cameras and see them at the same time, or it even has a sequence mode. And what the sequence mode does is it allows you to have one camera grid up, and it just rotates through them as you go. It also has PTZ control. Now, this piece right here is called a PoE. It's a power over Ethernet box, and you techies are probably going, yeah, we get it. But in the world of this allows me to power all those cameras up and not to have power cables hanging off the building and all that stuff. So it keeps a really clean install. This piece does all the work, and it also allows him to view from his phone. So if he's at home, he can still see the light, because like I said, if you've had some break-ins, you got to be able to keep up with what's going on. One more time, let's look at one more view. Look at this. Is that absolutely insane? Look at that. Gilbert Trucks Center with the phone number that you can read. I'm telling you, on a standard def camera, you cannot see this level of detail. This is how it's done. Now, these camera systems, the standard def camera system is going to start anywhere from $16.99 and up. We've talked about that for 4 cameras. These, we definitely need to come out and need to take advantage of the free estimate, because we'll come out and do a free estimate and design the system to make sure it stays in budget, because I'm telling you, if you can get this much area out of one camera, that's as much as 3 of the other cameras do. So it stays very cost effective. All right, now as you can see, that is the Wirepath IP300 series, and what that means to you is, that's just a model number, but that is 1,080 lines, okay? It has what they call a varifocal lens, and what that means to you is we can dial it in for like a short distance, like 25 to 50 feet, or we can dial in like you can see out here. We're trying to see this entire parking lot from that thing, but you can see it. Like I said, you can see this entire area. You can even read the writing on the trucks. The idea is that it comes with a 2 megapixel or a 3 megapixel lens. What it does is it helps you know what's going on, and with these, they're color during the day, and then they go black and white during the night, so you can still keep your detail, but they work in pitch black lighting. How about that? All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you watching the show. I appreciate the time. But listen, all this stuff we talk about, we warranty in-house, in truck, in church. We do loaners. We do it other folks don't do, because listen, I know there's other places to buy, because if there's not, half of my friends got abducted by aliens over time, okay? So I know there's other places, but what we do is service. So, and that's what matters the most. My dad taught me from day one is service, 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 and the rest will come. And that's exactly what's given us where we are. We are 12, 13, and 14 of the Macon.com, Macon Telegraph, chosen to be a best business of the year for electronics and what we do for car and for home, Warner Robins and for Macon. And that's a very big deal, man. I love it. I'm going to leave you with some scripture here. Psalm 120 verse 7 says, I search for peace, I speak of peace, and they want war. And what that means is, listen, you're going to be in situations where, guess what? Your Christianity will be tested. And God is saying, it's how you react in the tough times. That's when you'll show me how much you love who I am. And I love that God is all about us, and you need to be all about Him. I'm telling you from my own experience. Now, I want you to come see us at Ken's and Macon in Warner Robins.
Little George's #1 sight and sound source. Go to Ken's.
Dance. Hello.